to talk about right hand finger technique, or left hand if you play bass left-handed. Anyway, when you're sitting comfortably, the big thing is you want to rest your arm right on the side of the bass, and you don't want too much curl in your wrist. If you get too much curl, you're going to give yourself carpal tunnel syndrome down the road, which is no good for playing bass. So you want a slight bend, and there's generally different schools of thoughts where you can either rest your thumb on the pickup, just like this, or you can let it rest away from it, and your thumb can be like a moving anchor. What I'm going to do, just for simplicity, is show you how to do it with your thumb resting on that pickup. That'll act as an anchor and then allow you to concentrate more on getting your fingers doing the right thing. So if you can see here, I have a slight bend in my wrist and then a slight bend with my two fingers. These two fingers I generally like to curl back, my pinky and my ring finger, just because it's really easier. I have more motion doing this. If I have them both out, it makes it really awkward and hard. It may be different from you. You got to experiment and see what's going to give you the most free range motion with both your index finger and your middle. So the way I do this, I'll rest right on the pickup, slight bend in the wrist, slight bend in my fingers, and we'll start with just the E string. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to alternate my index finger and my middle. And if you watch closely, I'm doing even strokes, and then I'm using the other finger to mute the string before I pluck again. That'll determine how long you let that note ring out. You can do it short or you can do it long. The big thing you'll notice is that I'm just gently scraping across the top, and I'm right on my fingertips, okay? A lot of beginners, you'll see them really dig under there and do this kind of thing. That's not good bass technique. One, it doesn't sound good, and two, you're using a lot of energy for no reason. So use those fingertips and just gently practice alternating and going right across the top of the string. You can experiment plucking closer to the bridge, which will give you a brighter tone. Sometimes up closer to the neck will get you a thicker, almost sometimes more hollow tone. Let's talk about what to do when you start changing strings now. So when I move strings, a really important thing to do, so we're going to move on to my A string, is you're going to rest your finger on the string above. So if you watch my index finger, I go right across, rest on the string above. So I'm going from my A, and then I'm going to rest it on the E. So just like this. Again, concentrate on going slow and keeping nice, even tones. And then when I switch strings again, you're going to use the opposite finger, and you're going to do the same thing. Notice how I'm resting on the string above. We're going to talk about a technique called raking now. What raking means is when I'm going from my G back to my E, I'm going to use the same finger that is resting on that string. We're going to do quarter notes, 4 notes per measure, and I'm going to start with my index and go to middle. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm resting on my middle, so I'm going to start with my middle this time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm resting my index finger on the A string, so I'm going to start with my index finger. 1, 2, 3, 4. And again, now I'm resting on my middle, so I'm going to start with my middle. So the big thing is that you just start with the finger that's already resting on the string above when you do change strings. And I think that's about it. We're going to give you some exercises to practice now. Thanks for watching.